All right, jumping into video number 2 of 3. This report is brought to you by Jay Powell, Cornholio Extraordinaire. End phase, I am long via sold puts, and the position is green. If you followed me into it, you should also have greens. Would I buy calls or shares? Maybe I would nibble on shares. Would I buy calls? Call spreads, yes. Maybe calendars and diagonals. A combination of selling a put or a put spread to bring in some credits and investing some of those credits in a call or a call spread would be good. The report was fantastic. The reaction was not. And so it's a matter of having rallied too far, too fast. And it's inside support. Now, the support is solid from a levels perspective, but it's so old that it's not reliable like a line in the sand. It's a whole zone. So anything between here and 110, 108 should be solid support. But if the market's correct, this one will do too. It should correct at a softer pace. So it shouldn't collapse like, say, Facebook that is up in the stratosphere, because this one has already lost a lot of fat. Solid. Wow. Look, this is puzzling. Look at this crappy, I want to cuss, crappy P&L. Look at how the stock is doing in a bad market. So this shows you that there's something going on here. Either I don't know the company engages in supply transmissions, natural gas. What? Okay, so I would not be long this stock up here, to be honest. This is shortable, in fact. There's a good chance you would have an opportunity to get long at 38, if not lower. Now, if it takes out 45, it goes to 50. So if you buy a put, make sure to get out quickly. Etsy business is okay. Concept is solid. Level is super solid. I would be long this stock for the long term. It is on my list to trade, I believe. Yes. So I would sell a put or a put spread to own shares, or to buy call spreads with that money. So I would definitely trade it. I wouldn't add to current position, but it's a good starting point. Fast. Oh, fast and all. It's in the middle of a range. You have a high, you have a low, you have a strong buyer, you have a strong seller. I don't have any clues for you. What's your time frame? You have a strong buyer at 56.5, strong seller at 58 or higher, better buyer at 56, better seller at 59. So facts. Yeah. What is this? What kind of a okay, I'm not going to even talk about it unless I have the wrong ticker. How is the net income higher than the sales? So are they getting grants? And if so, what is happening here? So do your homework. Chart's not going to help you. Frog. My God. What do? At least they have a P&L. Don't know what that is. Not an obvious entry point. Good short-term support, but I think you would have better support a little bit lower. More importantly, if it rallies, it's going to face a lot of sellers. So it depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get to 28? You may get it. Are you trying to get to 30? I don't think you get it. I think it's easier to get to 24.50. But it's okay to be long for that prospect if you just started. That was a good base from which to buy down here. Fortinet also, does it move with Palo Alto? If so, it's going to be probably at 62 or 64. Good short-term base. Business is good. I would have caught the falling knife. I don't know if I did or didn't. But here's the problem. What happens when it gets to 65 or higher? So be careful. FUBO. Okay, I would never touch this stock anymore, actually. I traded it in the past, but not anymore. Good progress. Too low, too high. Somewhere in the middle lies the truth. You do have support through $1.60. This is an acquisition target, I believe. I don't think they can compete with the big boys. How long will Wall Street let it trade like that? Fiverr, their products suck. I tried using them. The ratings is BS. They tell you, oh, this person responds 95% of the time within 15 minutes. Yeah, that's because they have an automated email that comes out and then nothing after that. Good luck getting a response after that. They want to know how much you want to pay up front, and you can't get, there's no option that says, I haven't thought about it, I need help determining my budget. No, you need to give them a number, and if they don't like that number, they don't even answer you. Like, how the hell do I know what the number is if you don't talk to me? Right? I needed to get code, and the guy said, I write code in that language. I was like, okay, so I want to discuss a project with you. There's no way. You have to give them a number, and if you don't give them the right number, they don't even call you back or email you back. But you will get that initial automated email pronto, and that's the one they rate on. Otherwise, it's mathematically impossible. So what am I saying? I'm saying I wouldn't be too excited about this fundamentals. Technically, this is a good solid base. If it loses 25, we can talk about the teens. And I think it's going to take a lot to break out of 35 or 34. So if you're trading between 26 and 34, fine. If you're investing, I would put my money somewhere else. Notice I said my money. I've just told you why. GoDaddy, very competitive business, good solid support below. You might get a $2 to $3 rally. Just like Fiverr, you're going to face a lot of sellers at 72 or higher. If it gets to 73, I would exit my longs. 80 days until earnings. So you got some time to work without any headlines. All right, Globe Life Insurance Company, good solid P&L, good solid chart. I wouldn't invest into it up here. If you take out 116, you could get to 120. I think it's easier to drift towards 108 and 107. If you ever lose 102, you go to 95. I gave you the range, that's a lot. So GM, I'm long. I sold $33 puts and I hate it. This ruined my trade. Something Ford said, forget what it was. I trimmed my position. So let's say I had sold 10. I cut half at a loss, but if I don't have to cut the other half, the whole trade would be even. So it's a good starting point from a trading perspective. I just hate how the price action is happening. I'm stuck in it. I wish I wasn't. 32 is a good support zone. If you lose 31, you're going to 28 or 27, maybe even lower. The auto industry has got a big slap in the face coming unless they change their tunes. They got bullied by the politicians and the eco-friendly gang into ruining their business. I cannot believe smart people said that. They're committed to non-fossil fuels. There are so many more low-hanging fruits to improve the world air than cutting everybody. Anyway, not going to go there. But financially speaking, the EV prospects are doomed for these companies, the GM and all of that. Generac, I'm long and happy with how it's finding footing. So I took a position in it and I shared it. It wasn't perfect. The stock kept falling because of the timing with the market, but I think they stabilized. So, and also with the storms, it gets a little boost from that. I will be out before the next earnings report. In fact, I will be trimming as soon as it goes greener. A lot of easy money went, so they may be able to, if they clear 124, just scoot a little bit higher. Okay, so, and of course, if they lose 104, they're going into the double digits. I'm long, and I wouldn't add to my long, and I would have caught the knife in hindsight. So gold, this is not what they need. They probably need Barrick Gold, and Barrick Gold is a long for me. I think I shared it last week. Good company. Lost a really important support zone, so rallies into 1620 I would use to scalp if I was trading. It does have support and backup support and backup support. It could drift to 1450. If it rallies to 16 and a half, it's going to find sellers. Wait, didn't we cover Asan already? Yeah, because I went to gold. GOOGL. So good zone, good iron condor candidate. If you lose last week's lows, you're going to end up at 123, 124. It too will move with NVIDIA indirectly. So rallies will be met by sellers at 130. It will take a lot to break from 132, and if you do take out 132, you're going to 135. So I gave you the good, it has support. The bad, if you lose the support from last week, you're going to lose another $2, maybe $3. I gave you another piece of bad, is a lot of resistance, but the good, if you take out that resistance, then you end up with a $2 or $3 rally. See, it's well balanced. Iron Condor was the right thing to do. I have headphones in my ear and I keep yanking them out of my ear. Goldman Sachs, from a trading perspective, is falling into support. From a gross company perspective, I don't like to trade them. I do enjoy shorting it. I missed shorting it because I would have hated to lose against it. But anyway, it's falling into a decent tradable base. Base is a zone. So I don't know if it's going to get to 310, but I know I can sell some put spreads and make money off of them. Good support spread down below here. And if it rallies back to 335, 337, it's going to face a lot of sellers. This was not on the list, but there was HILT, which is not a ticker, so I assumed you're looking for Hilton. Decent short-term support. I wouldn't get long here from an investment. I wouldn't add to an investment if I already have it. You could convince me to sell a put spread, but not buy calls or shares. HIMS, good P&L. Look at that. Wow. And yet it trades like it's going out of business. So rallies will be met by sellers around 8. Great base below, but it's, what is this? What is this area down here? So I will put an alert. I'm going to tell you something though. I think the risk on this guy is the regulation. I don't think bigger companies are going to accept these guys taking business from them. It's too easy to do it online and circumvent that doctor situation. So be careful with the legislation on this one. I do like the P&L a lot, so it makes me question what the hell's going on. Let's look at price to sales. 2. So it's not expensive. Huh. Why is it so cheap? Hood. A decent base below, but it's not a hard floor in the sand. So it could be at 950. It could be at 9. I wouldn't be surprised if I see it spike again. I'm long shares, but because I made a mistake and I left myself long, not because I like it and not because I'm looking to make money. It's to keep myself reminded of the fact that I do make mistakes. It's only 100 shares. Okay, so it can be at 920. It has a lot of support there. It has a lot of resistance at 1120. So it's going to ping pong with the market in between. What do they do? Wow, these companies. Okay, so find out what the company does. It's lost all support. The chart says, I don't know, could be 155. No idea. Study the company. There's no support. Intel will definitely move with NVIDIA as well. And if you look at it, Intel has a channel, higher highs and higher lows. So there's a chance it's at 31, there's a chance it's at 29, and there's a chance it challenges 37. Now, if it falls, it's buyable dip below 28. If it rallies, if it breaks out of 37, it could be at 40, 41. So I think its future is determined this week by the stock future by NVIDIA. Not an obvious entry point for Intuit. It may bounce. I think it gets sold at 496 and it curls back down and it ends up at 468. So if the bounce happens, this might happen. Beware. They're selling rallies. If it gets to 1450 or 15, they're going to try to sell it back down to 1150. Good base from where they're trying to stabilize right here. But it's a wide base. Below 12, below 11 is the area. So if I would do this, there's a buyer here somewhere. Now this is a good company. I'm intrigued. I'm totally intrigued. I'm going to take out my notes. By the way, it did that. The rally came too fast though. They're pricing out the candle from the earnings. Totally tradable. One could say, all right, they lost this, $34. They could, this is a target 1, but what if this is a new target they want to chase? Another $38. So it could be at 258, 260, which would be an excellent entry point, but I think it's tradable here. Has a weak spot. It's filling out some weak spots here. I'm trying to find if we can get some moving averages. So it's falling into a nice support zone. I would trade it from the long side. The problem is that rallies could be sold. So if it comes up to here, it might curl back down and challenge the support zone. It is a falling knife though, be careful. J&J, I wouldn't touch it. It's too murky right now. Didn't they sell a bunch of businesses, so now it's a complete new company? I don't know. Just study it. Technically, it's not an entry point. I think you will have an opportunity to be long at 167, if not 164. Ross Coles. Not an obvious entry point. I think 30 is tough to beat, so it's easier to drift lower to 25 or 24. Is this part of J&J that spun off? And if it is, it's too new. Okay, so I wouldn't know what to do with this. You have to study what this is. And technically, you have no support below last week. If you lose last week's low, we've never been there. So we don't know. All I know is that 24 is difficult. 23.5 is super difficult. I would not touch it. I would not touch this one either, which used to trade with Tesla, and now it lost all support and it's in free fall. So now the support is so far back that even though it's very solid support, it's too far back to matter sharply. So through 15 and lower would be very interesting if you know the business. I see no sales. How do you have net income without sales? Like 0 revenues and net income of 26 million. What the hell is going on with the financial reporting? No sales, and they have net income. I'm puzzled. They have 0 sales. I would not be in this company as an investment. I would not, and if I am, I would not add to the business, to my risk. And I would definitely study the company inside and out. And not just what I read from other people's opinion. Educate yourself on the technology. Get into the science of it and figure out for yourself. We're smart enough. We have all the tools. LMND is a good buy into this base of 12-ish. There's a gap here. It kind of makes it weird. It's close enough to the gap. And, you know, I don't like the spending. Yeah, the sales are growing, but look at the spending also growing faster than the sales. So, is this the one that Buffett is engaged in? So I guess you could convince me to get engaged at LMND. I don't remember if it's tradable easily or not. I'm intrigued. Somebody here know if Buffett is still in it? LULU, too high to chase. I think he's already in it. He's in one of those weird companies. So LULU, 1 hour, 2 hour, 1 day, 1 minute, 15. Okay, let's go here. So LULU is too high for my taste. If it takes out 395, it's open air, but I think it's easier to drift lower. So I don't want to short it. The company is successful. So I said to somebody that wanted to short it, do a credit call spread and a debit put spread, but that was a while back. I wonder if they made money on it. That would have been good. Now I would do an iron condor and that's it. But it's not very liquid, so be careful what you do with it. LYFT, I don't like the fundamentals. Let's see how the chart is doing. Okay, so they stabilized over $10, just over $10. Now the opportunity is, can you take out 12.8? And if you can fill out that gap. Those are difficult, so I challenge that. I think it's going to be extremely difficult to break 1240, so you're stuck for a little bit. McKesson. Okay, tabletop long here. They based twice. They went up. Another trying to base a little bit higher. Interesting. If it comes back down into this area of 400, it's a buying opportunity with stops. I think the resistance is at 440 and it's tough. But if you take that out, you get another $15, $20, $30. It's a big stock. Okay, Meta. Now rallies in Meta are going to be met by sellers. They're trying to, I don't think they have a good base anywhere. They have one base here, but it's not good. Look at that volume profile. What is this? What is that? Don't be surprised to get a giant correction on Meta out of the nowhere. This is my target. They didn't bounce, but this is my target. We crushed it. So now what? Repeat. Bounces might get curled down as well. Well, that was weird. Why'd you do that? Okay, so rallies might face sellers. I like this area down here. So the white one happened. Now the red one is vulnerable. Okay, I wouldn't short it actively, but that should tell you what to do with your risk. If you're looking to get long, use a credit put spread, don't use calls. Yep, falling out of control here. Trying to base. I'm concerned where they closed on Friday. This week, whoa, that is like do or die. If they're not at 7.6, I would not be in this stock at all. MQ, I am in this stock. I sold put spot calls on somebody's recommendation. I know nothing about it. My trade is profitable, but I couldn't close it. So I hate that. I will never trade it again. This is the last time I do anything with it. This is not at a good starting point. So I will seriously try to get out of my position soon. But I will check with the people that told me to take it. I don't remember why. So I sold puts, bought calls. So out of pocket was nothing. So worst case scenario, it's not costing me anything, but worst case scenario, I may have to buy shares down here. So I spent $0 to be long calls. Moderna, no comment. Again, losing more money than they're taking in, and they're taking in almost no money anymore. So you go from 5 billion to 2 billion to no billion. Not a good thing. So what are we investing in? Listen, folks, I mentioned it. This is not a political statement. The way the government handled the pandemic created a giant group of people that will never take another vaccine ever again. So that's the danger on the vaccine companies going forward. They created never vaxxers. So I'm just letting you know, this might hurt the company financially going forward. So I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole because I can't forecast that risk. Maybe 80 or 60 from a technical perspective, but I wouldn't touch it. Like, I would never do a sold put for this one. I would not own shares. If anything, I will try to trade the price action on the stock, but I don't want to invest in it. What am I investing in? Nothing. It's gone. There's no sales. Is it seasonal? I doubt it. So do your homework. Because when you invest in the stock, you want the least amount of questions. There are so many questions here. This company is doing well. P&L is fairly solid. The base is stable for a week, which is pretty good. I don't think the market is the same. Levels are not so good. So yes, it's tradable, but wouldn't it be great to get long somewhere around 52 or 50? So if you twist my arm, I would sell a put down there to own shares, and that's about it. I wouldn't buy calls, although for a trade, you could get to 62 with a stop. So if you're trading this company, take longs with stops. If you lose this area, you're going to end up down here. So the way to do it is sell a put to own shares and buy a call spread, diagonal or something. So just like that MQ, sell 2 puts to buy 1 call. That would be if you can own 200 shares. If you cannot, do not sell puts. Sell a put spread to bring some cash, buy a call spread to participate with the upside. So Microsoft is a good company, and it did well last week, especially Friday. It's in a breakdown from up here, and I had a target of somewhere down here. So short-term target is met. Long-term target, it's nowhere near a bottom because of how fast it rallied. You see that? So the breakout was somewhere around 290. There's a chance that it is down there below 300 in the next 6 months. Not on its own, though. But if the markets continue to bleed, it may drift lower. So rallies into 330 are scalpable for traders. Investors can nibble for the long term, especially if they're selling puts to own it lower. Micron, good support, good pivot. You see, it went back to base. So this one will move with NVIDIA, but it should hold up better than other stocks. Look at the solid support at 61, better support at 58, 59, 57. Look at the P&L though. Ugh, that's gross. I don't understand how loved this company is in the industry when they underperform so badly in the P&L department. But I don't argue with it. I trade it. We bought the dip last time and we made money. I will do it again. So if it falls to 55, 56, 57, I would sell puts to own shares or sell a put spread to trade it. Look at that. So I guess that worked. We can rinse and repeat. If it rallies, and it could rally to 66, and you want to participate, I think it's easier to do via credit put spread. Maybe even credit put, iron condor plus debit call spread. Talk to me about it. NCLH, I wanted to short the rally. I didn't. Falling technically into support around 15. So it has support scattered, but the rally was too fast. So I can't tell you it's going to be 16 or 15. And that's a big problem. If you're selling a put spread, okay. See, now it's back into this ascending channel. I'm gonna delete it, but the base is good. Decent P&L, horrible balance sheet. Netflix, you could have repeated the credit put spread I gave us. That worked. I did a credit put spread at 380, and you could have repeated that on this dip last week. And if you still have it, it still probably has value. I have to double check. I would take it again. So Netflix, if the market is going to hold up okay, you could do credit put spreads in Netflix. You have 60 days before the earnings. Hit me up. Maybe we can do it this week. If you need a trade on it, I'll share it. ServiceNow. Wow, it's a lot of tickers today. Rallies into 552, 555 are going to find sellers. Look, they're selling rallies. Rally sold, rally sold, rally will be sold. The question is, will it make a lower low? In this case, you have some support, but it's not bulletproof. In fact, let me make it this way. I wouldn't get long until it hits that red zone here, 490. I'll say it this way though. If it doesn't get up to 560 and hold, it will probably drift to 500 or lower. Okay, that's my comment. They just triggered a head and shoulders right there. But I would draw it here. See the head and shoulders right there? So I would draw it here. The distance is about that, but I think it's this is a potential path to what just happened. I showed you where it is, but I think the line is here. So it needs to get back to 560 and hold. Otherwise, this green thing is happening. I'm going to take these two out. I'm going to change this to be support zone. And now the chart is updated. It's inside of a battle zone from here, so that's good for the bulls. NU just reported that was an opportunity apparently. Wow. Okay, this stock is amazing. I think the resistance is totally amazing too. 7.8 to 8 I think is going to be pretty hard to beat. Look left. Look how much volume is up there. It's going to be difficult to take out. NUGT. Wow, the opposite of that other guy. Falling into a good base that extends through 25 or 24. So yeah, if you're buying it for the bounce, for the, it's like a GDX type of a thing. I think I'm long the GDX indirectly. It's falling into a decent base. It's not a time to exit. It's okay to take longs. I wouldn't add 2 longs if I already have them. NVIDIA, I don't think I need to say anything because it can move plus or minus 20-30% on the earnings. It has that kind of potential. They promised an unbelievable report. So if they can impress them and move up, I think the up move is going to be massive. But I think the better odds is that they're going to disappoint them and they're going to give up a bunch. I would not get long into the earnings. I would wait to see what the options report says the day before they report. Never seen this before. What is this? Credit Income Fund. What are we doing here? Okay, so the chart says this thing is going into a prior bounce that extends all the way to 11. Can't tell you anything else. I think sellers are in droves at 11.75. Oracle, good company. Above 118, it gets to 121. Above 122, can get to 126. If above here, you challenge this. If you beat that, you get up to here. Decent support. If you lose 111, you get down to 107, which would be even better support. So I think it's stuck. Good solid buyers, good solid sellers. Good company though, so don't bet against it. Look at how stable this P&L is. All right, second video is off. Let's go upload it.